Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS. Today's topic is Kyoto Protocol. It is an international treaty which extends 1992 United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change that commits state parties to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It was adopted in Kyoto, Japan in 1997. It came into force in February 2005. This protocol aimed to cut emissions of greenhouse gases across the developed world by about 5% by 2012 compared with 1990 levels. Also, this is the only global treaty with binding limits on greenhouse gas emissions. Next, this protocol is based on the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities. That is, it puts the obligation to reduce current emissions on developed countries on the basis that they are historically responsible for the current levels of greenhouse gas emissions in the atmosphere. According to it, there are two types of countries. One is historically biggest polluting developed countries, and second is recently polluting developing countries. The developed countries must contribute funds towards reducing greenhouse gas emissions in developing and least developed countries. Whereas developing countries and least developed countries, nothing is binding on them and they should voluntarily cut greenhouse gas emissions. The parties to Kyoto Protocol are classified into different types. Now let us see each one of them. First is Annex 1, that is developed countries and economies in transition. Example, USA, UK, Russia are developed countries, and Ukraine, Turkey and some other Eastern European countries come under economies in transition. Next, Annex 2, that is developed countries. Annex 2 countries is a subset of Annex 1 countries. They are required to provide financial and technical support to the economies in transitions and also assist developing countries in reducing their greenhouse gas emissions. Next, Annex B. Annex 1 parties with first or second round Kyoto greenhouse gas emission targets come under this. Finally, non-Annex 1 countries. These are parties to United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which are not listed in Annex 1. These are mostly low-income developing countries and nothing is binding on them. Next, under Kyoto Protocol, there are two commitment periods. They are 2018 8 to 12 and 2013 to 20. The second commitment period was agreed on 2012, known as Doha Amendment to the Protocol. Canada withdrew in 2012 after the first commitment period. Negotiations were held in Lima in 2014 to agree on post-Kyoto legal framework that would obligate all the major polluters to pay for carbon dioxide emissions. China, India and USA have all signaled that they will not ratify any treaty that will commit them to legally to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. Also, USA never ratified Kyoto Protocol. Next, the greenhouse gases that come under Annex A are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, sulfur hexafluoride, hydrofluorocarbons and perfluorocarbons. Now let us see a question based on this. Consider the following pairs, terms sometimes seen in use and their origin. Annex 1 countries, certified emission reductions, clean development mechanism and their origin, Cartagena Protocol, Nagoya Protocol and Kyoto Protocol. All these terms are related to Kyoto Protocol, whereas Cartagena Protocol is related to living modified organisms and biosafety, and Nagoya Protocol is related to access and benefit sharing. So the answer is C, 3 only. Thank you.